The evolution of amphibians from fish marks the moment when vertebrates transitioned from aquatic life to life on the inland. Around 360 million years ago, during the Devonian period, fish like Tiktaalik and Eusthenopteron began developing limbs from fins and lungs from gills. These crucial adaptations enabled early amphibians like Ichthyostega to survive both in water and on land. Through digital representation, we explore the gradual changes that made this evolutionary leap possible.
The evolution of amphibians from fish. The earliest vertebrates were jawless fish that live in earth oceans. These ancient fish had no bones or jaws and they breathed through gills. Over time, they evolved into more advanced fish with skeletons and fish. By the Devonian period, a special group of fish called lobe-finned fish began to appear. Unlike ray-finned fish, which have thin and flexible fins, lobe-finned fish had fleshy, muscular fins with bones inside. These fins could support the animal's body, especially in shallow water where the movement on the muddy bottom was helpful. One famous lobe-finned fish is Tiktaalik, discovered in the Arctic. Tiktaalik had both fish-like features like gills and fins, and land animal traits like a flat head, a neck, and strong limb bones. It's considered a key transitional fossil, a bridge between fish and amphibians. Over time, lobe-finned fish gave rise to the first tetrapod, which is four-limbed vertebrates. These animals developed lungs, stronger bones, fingers, and toes that allowed them to move on land. The Ichthyostega and Acanthostega are early tetrapods. They still spend much of their life in water, but they were adapted to walk on land for a short period. Eventually, these tetrapods evolved into true amphibians, animals that could live both in water and on land. They kept many features from their aquatic ancestors, such as laying eggs in water, moist skin for absorbing oxygen, and have larval stage like tadpoles that breathe with gills. These early amphibians flourished in swampy environments. Today's amphibians, like frogs, salamanders, and caecilians, are the descendants of those first land vertebrates. While they've changed over millions of years, they still carry the legacy of their fish ancestors.
Key phylogenetic relationships in vertebrate evolution. In this video, we will explore the evolutionary journey of amphibians from fish, highlighting the significant transition to land and their role in vertebrate evolution. The development of amphibians from lobe-finned fish marks a crucial milestone in vertebrate evolution. These fish, known as Sarcopterygiae, had fleshy fins with bones similar to those of tetrapod limbs, enabling the transition to land. Transitional forms like Tiktaalik illustrate the evolutionary adaptations between fish and amphibians. Tiktaalik possessed both lungs and limb-like fins, showcasing the blend of aquatic and terrestrial features. Key characteristics of early tetrapods include limb structure with fingers and toes for movement on land, adaptations for breathing air and moving necks, dependence on water for reproduction and skin respiration. Amphibians were the first vertebrates to fully utilize terrestrial habitats. Despite their land adaptations, they still require aquatic environments for certain life processes. Amphibians share a common ancestor with amniotes, which include reptiles, birds, and mammals. This places them as a significant branch in the vertebrate phylogenetic tree, crucial for understanding the evolution of land-dwelling vertebrates.
Now, let's move to important fossil discoveries supporting vertebrate evolution. The evolution of vertebrates, especially the transition from fish to amphibians, is highlighted by a series of important fossil discoveries. These fossils reveal crucial adaptations such as the development of limbs, change in breathing system, and stronger skeletal structures that supported movement on land. By studying these transitional species, scientists have gained valuable insight into how life gradually shifts from water to land, marking one of the most important milestones in evolutionary history. Now, let's go to important fossil supporting vertebrate evolution. I will introduce 5 important fossil discoveries that illustrate the evolutionary transition from fish to amphibians. These fossils show how early vertebrates gradually developed the features needed to live on land. Let's begin with Tiktaalik rosette, which lived around 375 million years ago. Tiktaalik is considered a true transitional fossil. It had a mix of fish traits like scales and fin, and tetrapod features such as a flat skull, limb-like fins, and strong ribs. Discovered in Arctic Canada in 2004, it provides some of the clearest evidence for early adaptation to life on land. Next is Acanthostega, which lived about 365 million years ago. Acanthostega was one of the earliest known tetrapods. It had limbs with digits but still had gills and other aquatic features. This tells us that limbs evolved while these animals were still living in water, not after they moved onto land. Next, we have Ichthyostega, which lived slightly early, around 367 million years ago. It was more adapted to land than Acanthostega. Ichthyostega had stronger limbs, lungs, and possibly the ability to hear in air. Although it still had some fish-like traits, it likely could move on land, at least for short distance. Another important fossil is Eostenopteron, a lobe-finned fish that lived around 375 million years ago. It had fin bones similar to the arm and leg bone of land animal and a complex skull structure. Eostenopteron is considered a precursor to tetrapods and represents a key stage in the transition. We have Sauropteryx, which lived even earlier, around 385 million years ago during the Middle Devonian period. This lobe-finned fish had fin bones that closely resemble primitive limb bones. It represents one of the earliest evolutionary steps toward the development of limbs used for movement on land. Finally, is significance of transitional fossils in vertebrate evolution. These fossils show the gradual adaptation that allowed vertebrates to move from water to land. Mark key evolutionary milestones in the development of amphibians from fish. Each fossil represents an important step in the transition from aquatic to terrestrial life, highlighting anatomical changes such as the development of limbs and lungs. Help scientists understand how structural and functional transformations made land life possible. Provide strong evidence for how amphibians evolved from their fish ancestors.
Last but not least, we can understand that the evolution from fish to amphibians marks a turning point in vertebrate history, showing how life adapted from water to land through key changes in lungs, limbs, and movement. Hence, this journey laid the foundation for all land-dwelling vertebrates today.